Welcome again to Weld QC, the YouTube channel of Lloyd's Institute of Technologies. We are entering to part 3 right now. So friends, in our last video, we have been discussing about elements of a complete welding symbol, how it is located, how it is used, and we have completed up to finish symbol. Now the remaining two, that is tail and the specifications, process, etc., how to be noted in the area of tail. We will be discussing that. Tail is not an essential part of welding symbol. Okay, tail is required when you have to mention some kind of notes, like which process you will be using if it is necessary, or any specifications you have to mention, any code, or particularly any other references. If it is required only, you have to add the tail symbol. Okay. Now let us try to understand how the interpretation of various welding symbols can be done. Any information applicable to the arrow side of a joint, that means here, this is the arrow side, shall be placed below the reference line. You have to mention it here if it is applicable to the arrow side. If something you have to do it here, the welding or preparation or whatever you have to do it on this arrow side, you will have to place the information below here, whether it is a weld symbol or weld size or whatever it is applicable to the arrow side should be placed below the reference line. Similarly, information applicable to the other side, in this case this is arrow side and this is other side. Information applicable to the other side of a joint shall be placed above the reference line. Here, this is the reference line and you have to place it above the reference line. Okay, information applicable to the other side, that means this side, whatever you have to do it on this side, that information you have to place above the reference line. Okay, so remember, below the reference line means arrow side, above the reference line means other side here. Okay, clear? Okay, we'll go to the next. Okay, here we can see it again. Location significance of arrow in butt joint. This is a butt joint. Okay, you know that we have discussed about the weld joints and type of welds, so please go into there. So this is a butt joint. In the butt joint, we have seen how the other side and arrow side will be interpreted. On top, above the reference line, it is other side, and below the reference line, it is arrow side. Okay, we will go to the next, that is T joint. Similarly, even in the T joint, now this is the arrow side. So if you have to give any information, a welding information on the arrow side, that you have to mention here. Suppose if you have to give a fillet weld on arrow side, you have to mention it here. The weld symbol, you have to give it here. And if it is other side, this is the other side, then you have to give the weld symbol and other details on above the reference line. Okay, now let us see the lap joint. It is almost similar, it is the same thing, only you have to understand the lap joint concept. So again, arrow side, if it is to be done here, you have to mention below the reference line, and if you have to weld it here, that information you have to provide above the reference line. can see the things more clearly. Different kind of welding. All these are arrow side weld symbols. This is fillet weld symbol and to be done on the arrow side. This is V groove symbol. Again, it is shown below the reference line, so you have to do it on the arrow side. This is J groove weld. Again, you have to do it on arrow side. Now, other side welding. All these three are other side welding. All are given above the reference line. Fillet weld, other side welding. V groove weld, other side welding. J groove weld, other side welding. Because all the three are given above the reference line. So above the reference line means it is other side of the arrow to be welded. Now, in case you have to do it both side welding, then the symbol you have to give above and below, which means you have to do it both sides. Whatever welding, whatever sizes you can mention it here. So both sides is to be welded, then you have to give it on both the side of the reference line. Now let us see how it is applied. You can see that it's you have above the reference line you have one fillet weld symbol, and on left hand side 8 is given, which means the weld size should be 8 mm, and it is to be done other side, not here but here on the other side, like you have seen it is welded here. This 8 mm welding is done on the other side of the arrow. Now if you have to do it on the arrow side, your weld symbol will be below the reference line. 8 mm size on the arrow side here. It is done here. Okay, hope you understood the concept. Similarly on both the side welding, the same thing. Okay, now you got the symbol on both sides, above and below the reference line, and you have welded it on both the sides, here and here, on the both sides. And these are fillet weld now.
Hi friends, in our last video we have been discussing about the various way of interpretation of weld and welding symbols. In the coming videos we will be completing the various topics in welding symbols. The welding symbols interpretation is a vast area, a very huge topics are involved in that. So it could be running into another 2 or 3 parts, because approximately the remaining part will be approximately around 30-35 minutes. So it cannot be in a single video, but I will be cutting into 3 or 4 parts further. That means the welding symbols explained parts will be, it could run up to 6 or 7 parts. Okay, this is for your convenience. Okay, I will be explaining each and every important topics of weld and welding symbols interpretation, which will be highly helpful for you in future. Okay friends, so that's all for today. We'll be coming back very soon with the next video. Until then, goodbye. Thanks for watching.